Hello, this is Juicy with Pick and Pray episode 3, gut check as I'm going to call it. In the previous video, I picked and gutted this American Lock Series 1100 in yellow. This is the same lock that in my first video I unboxed, tried picking, surprisingly got it open on my first, not my first attempt, but more, I had to reset a couple of times, but I picked it right out of the box, and I didn't expect that to actually work. So I decided in kind of spontaneously to try and go for the green belt submission during that video, and I had no experience gutting padlocks, and I dropped some pins and mangled the spring, but I recovered off camera and now I am ready to do this. I got everything picked and gutted as in the previous video. I'm going to try yet again to get I have to move kind of quickly because I'm running out of storage. I'm going to try again to get a close-up of these pins. Can we focus on you? Oh yeah, that's the money shot right there. So we got 2 serrated key and driver pin in chamber 5, a serrated key pin and a spool serrated in chamber 4, both serrated key and driver in chamber 3, a same thing in chamber 2, both serrated, and a serrated key pin and a spool serrated driver pin in chamber 1. I really wish that had worked in the previous picking video, but yeah, there everything is. Now we're going to put it back together in a smooth, hopefully smooth manner. We'll lock on these pins so it can be seen. There we go. Let's get started. I gotta do this quickly before I run out of storage. Okay, so got everything still here, lock, got the shield down there. Let's start with the key pins. We got our empty plug here, no pins as you can see. Hopefully, start with key pin number 5 in chamber 5. Our chamber 4. Is this in focus? Good. Chamber, oop, missed. There we go. Chamber 3. Chamber 2. Don't you run away from me. Don't you want to go home? God, this grease is a nightmare. Should have wiped it clean as suggested. Should have listened to Spicy. And that's chamber 1. Alright, now I grab the key. Make sure everything's level, make sure everything's where it's supposed to be. Yep, all good. Can we focus on you? Oh, if we move them down here, there we go. See? Nice and level. I'll take you back out without losing anything. Set you down there. And I will put you here for now. Grab this guy. Set this there. Grab my plug follower. I always forget which way I do this from the back. Yes. Oh. Nice and empty. Let's see if we can get everything in the shot. That'd be great. Start with chamber 5. I wanted to show this in the last video. So that spring that got mangled in my first video, it is not perfect, but it functions. It's this guy here. Let's see if you can see him if I bring him. No, definitely not. You could probably zoom in on that though. But yeah, that's the spring. It turned out, I mean, he's not perfect, but he's a gentleman. So, put him back in chamber 5 where he's supposed to be. Ah, crap. This spring, unlike most, now has an orientation. I gotta make sure I get it right. There we go. Alright. Well, not really. I mean, it'd be fine without it, but... Nope, stop it. Almost dropped my thing here. Can we see what I'm doing here? I can if I do this. Ish. Put him in chamber 5. I can't see what I'm doing. The camera might be able to, though. Chamber 5. Get all the springs in there. Chamber 4. Chamber 3. Chamber 2. I don't know why I'm moving the plug follower. Already a habit, maybe? Alright, anyway, I'll go back. Let's get these pins in here. So what I'm doing is I'm following everything with my plug follower as I go. So I stick the serrated in there, making sure that the shorter serration end is facing the key pin, otherwise, you know, the serrations might not engage. And that's no fun. A lock isn't fun unless it's challenging. Or we could just drop the whole damn thing. That's cool too. Come on. You know what? Screw it, I haven't done anything else yet. Come here. Make sure you didn't have a good enough grip on you, I guess. Oriented, that would go in wrong. We want you this way. 3, 4, and 5. There we go. Get you in. Okay, I need to be able to see what I'm doing, sorry. Adjust my seating, that might help. I'm really struggling with this guy. So this way. Get a better grip on the follower here. So, if I can, still trying to make sure that I stay in frame while trying to, there we go. Get them in chamber 5. Pushing down with the tweezers. And push forward with the follower. Just enough to cover him. And that will keep him from shooting out, as long as I don't rotate it like that. And then we take a spoorated driver for chamber 4. Trying to anyway. It's hard to do at this angle. It's going to take some practice on its own. Let him almost had it. There we go. Push him down. Follow with the plug follower. Follow with the follower. Alright, let me take our serrated. Make sure he's oriented the right way. Again, I want to make sure, push him down, that the serrations engage. Push, push. There we go. And get chamber 2. You know what, now that we're closer, let's see if we can get a better shot of what I'm doing here for anyone who doesn't know. Not that I'm an expert, but, you know, who knows, maybe a noob that is noobier than me will find this helpful. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the pin, stacking it on top of this here, or putting it in the chamber, balancing it kind of on the spring. You can see that in there. And then I take my tweezers, push it down so that my plug follower can slide over top. and hold them in place like that. And then just scoot them forward a little more so I can get to the next pin, which will now be the spool rated pin in chamber 1. Or not, come on. Almost lost. Chamber 2. Oh, he's in there. Push him down, push forward, and there we go. We've got the Bible pinned, the plug pinned, everything in its place. And now, we turn him this way. Make sure we take our plug here. We line them up with our follower. I'm doing this at the wrong angle again. Or how to, crap. There we go. Line them up because we don't want the pins shooting out of it again, so we got to make sure that this edge, that's the mistake I made in my first video. They shot through this gap right here because I was having trouble lining it up with this. But if we kind of turn the plug sideways and make sure that this is lined up with the pins in the Bible, we can scoot them backwards slowly at first, like that. And then you don't want to pull the plug follower out, you want to push it out with the plug, because if you try to pull the plug through and follow it with the plug, then you're gonna fumble like I did and drop everything and mangle the spring. Lessons were learned. But anyway, so now we take our C-clip, snap him back on there, nice and smooth, good. And just to be sure, we got our cylinder back together. Key test. Still works as intended. Good. I'm gonna put him in here for now. Backwards, because why not? Okay. Grab our lock body. Yeah, here. Make sure that shield, it can kind of get shifted when you take everything apart. You want to make sure it's lined up properly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. But the tail piece of this will help make sure that it is. You stick him in here. Well, he's not lined up properly, so if we try to put him in now, it's just gonna get well, the shield won't do its job, and we don't want that. So we gotta rotate you. We rotate it to match the actuator, and it lines up now with this. I can just pop him in there. Yep, he's in place. Scoot him off to the side like that. Otherwise the screw won't get through there. There's even like a nice little carved out section there that kind of helps guide you. Take your, I still can't remember what they called this. The shield? I want to say it was a shield. I'm not sure. I'll have to look at, I was reading through the service manuals for these, and they had a name for it, but I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, hold everything in place and turn it over. Take your screw, get him down in there. Screwdriver. I like to give it a couple of turns in the opposite direction to make sure that he's not getting stripped. And then tighten it down. Don't need to totally crank it in there because you don't want to strip the screw. I ain't got money for spare parts. Anyway, he's in there. This is nice and flush. I don't want to over rotate anything, so I'm going to take, I still don't know, totally understand how rotation works, but I've seen horror stories online and I don't want to be a part of that club. What do they call it? The Rattle Club? That's for a different lock, but still there's another one. I can't remember, they tried to they were calling it for the 1100s, but there, I use the tensioner to hold it in place to keep it from over rotating past the little guard there. But it's locked, nice and tight. Key test. Get them in there. Yep. Functional. And it's locking and doing everything it's supposed to. We'll call that done. This has been Pick and Pray episode 3, I believe, called Gut Check with Juicy. Bye.